What's up everybody, Mr. Cheeps here. Now this video is going to be a little special because this channel actually recently passed 2,000 subscribers, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. So, to honor that, we're going to attempt to bake a fluid simulation with Blender's MantaFlow that has 2,000 resolution divisions. Yes, it's going to be a bit of a weird video, but let's start with the premise. So I've got an effector object which will act as a collision. That's just this little thing that will set up our waterfalls. We've got an inflow at the top, we've got an outflow at the bottom, and we've got our domain. So let's just put in our resolution divisions, 2,000. Press enter. It always takes a while when you've got it this high. Even though you don't have any information in the domain yet, it takes a couple seconds. And there we go. Let's just bake some data. Oh no. Let's open up Blender again. Hopefully it works this time. Put in our number, cross your fingers. Well, that sucks. So unfortunately it looks like we'll have to go with a resolution of 400 for this simulation as it crashes with anything above that. Luckily though, I believe we'll still be able to up-res it by a factor of 5 when baking into a mesh, and while some may consider that cheating, I don't think so, because it still gets us to 2,000 if you do the math. So let's just bake that data, I'll show you the particle simulation we end up with, and we'll also see how long this will take. Here's the base particle simulation that I ended up with. Now unfortunately I actually did have to bake this 3 times. The first 2 are a little janky, a bit too chaotic, because the flip ratio was way too high and I didn't have any sub-steps in between the animation frames because I was trying to cut down on bake time. Because of that, those first 2 only took 4 hours to bake each time, but they aren't usable. This third simulation looks a lot better. It took 9 hours to bake, but at least I can actually use it for this simulation. Now let's try baking it into a mesh and we'll see how that turns out. A little update on the mesh situation. I actually baked this 5 separate times. The first time I tried to do a factor of 5 to get that ideal 2,000 resolution. However, Blender sped through the bake and left me with the cube that I started with. No fluid mesh whatsoever. So then I tried baking it 3 times at a factor of 2, which would have left us with 800, but it's still a pretty good resolution for a fluid simulation. However, each time I tried to bake that, Blender crashed. So I had to resort to baking it at a factor of 1, which leaves us with a theoretical resolution of our base 400. It still looks really cool though, and it actually baked through. So we'll just roll with it. Even though it's not a 2,000 resolution simulation, I like it. Let's bake in some particles. And a little update on the particle situation now. Unfortunately, I can't get it to render as anything other than a halo. Even when I assign something simple, such as a 3 vertice triangle, this doesn't render, and it just straight up crashes Blender. It kind of makes sense, given that, if we look at this, there are 12 million particles per frame, but it is a little disappointing. We'll just plow on ahead, ignore the particles, and just make this slightly more stylized in an attempt to make it look cool without them, given that we aren't at a high enough resolution to make this seem fully realistic either. Well guys, it looks like this is how things are going to end. I've tried with Blender 2.83 2.83.2, and the latest version of 2.9, and I can't get it to render anywhere. I've restarted my computer multiple times, still nothing. I've also tried with cycles with both libraries, CUDA and Optics. I've tried with Eevee, and I've tried with the Workbench renderer, and as far as I can tell, the issue is actually that I'm running out of memory. So once I upgrade a little bit, maybe download some more RAM, then we'll see if I can push this further and hopefully actually get it to render. Until then, we'll just leave with some final statistics. I've got 14 hours of bake time on record. That's just a rough estimation as I don't know exactly how long it takes, but thinking about it, that actually isn't too bad. I've also got 250 gigs of hard drive space taken up by this cache file, which is a little insane. And as far as render times, that's what I wanted to put for this third statistic, but given that we can't get it to render, no render times here, so just use your imagination for how long that would have taken. And so, with a heavy heart, I suppose we'll have to put a hold on this little experiment. I can't exactly upload this full project due to the size of the cache files, but if you want to check out the blend file, bake it for yourself, maybe at a lower resolution, then you can do that. It'll be uploaded where you can get it for free in the description of the video. If you want to help out this channel, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra generous, go check out my Patreon for some exclusive project files. That will also be in the description. I want to thank you all for watching, and have an amazing day.